Okay, today we're here to correct some misconceptions. Now, Dacia have been known to be rough and ready, with minimal tech and just enough requirements to make the vehicle function. They've never concerned themselves with aesthetics and high quality materials. But as I turn and look at the Bigster, I can't help but feel all that is about to change, and not just on the outside. A major overhaul. We've got two 10-inch screens in here where we used to have none. We've got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, dual air vent controls, and an Archimedes auditorium sound system in here. So the question is Dacia ready to play with the big boys? It's called the Bigster and not the Speedster, and I think that may be the only thing that Dacia could do with an upgrade for in future models. Not to 62 in 9.7 seconds and 112 miles per hour max speed. But the caveat to that is Dacia don't put a bigger engine in the Bigster because it can keep the price down. It starts at 25 grand and it's capped at £30,000. Tell me another SUV that can compete with that. The Bigster is the big brother to the Duster. It is actually the same width as the Duster, but the wheelbase is longer. That is the main design change. Hence the reason it's called the Bigster. Some figures and facts: up to 60 miles per gallon, which is a number I like, it's quite high up there, and 630 miles. And there's no need to charge because this is fully hybrid, remember. The 1.4 kilowatt hour battery, well, it harvests energy back into that from braking and deacceleration from the engine. This Bigster we're in has a 1.8 fully hybrid powertrain, and it gives you back 155 horsepower, all driving through the front wheels only. Okay, does it feel cheap? Is it comfortable? Well, the steering wheel's got a nice feel to it. It's got almost a little bit of sponginess, and it's just a nice covering that's on it. I like that. The seat's nice as well. I'm a little bit compromised in my ideal seating position. I would like to be a little bit lower, if I could be. But when I go lower, my feet then for some reason feel too high. I'm kind of splitting hairs here, I really am. There's quite a few plastic surfaces about as well that I think could have a nicer finish on it. But remember, the Bigster, well, you're paying for what you get. The adaptive cruise control though is fabulous. It will bring you to a complete halt and it will move you away from a junction without touching a thing. Dacia will tell you that you should have an instant response from the throttle pedal when you're in EV mode. And actually, I feel that when we're in the petrol-driven engine as well. And the brake pedal, ultra responsive. Very delicate pressure required in the brake pedal, which is good. Super responsive pedals, super responsive driver. B-road driving now, visibility is key. Out the front is good, and the side. The A-pillar does take up a little bit of my vision and visibility. And as I look towards the back, I can't believe how far away the back window actually looks in that mirror. There's not a lot of body roll in it either. People have questioned that. The suspension feels quite firm on some of the bumps we've got here. And speaking of suspension, body roll and vehicle handling, let's go and try the turning circle because I'm told this is a pretty tight turning circle in this car. Turning circle challenge, 10.97 metres. Let's put it to the test in this car park, see what it's like. Full lock and away we go. Don't know what I'm doing with my arms. Round we come. Tell you what, that's quite impressive. Missed the pothole, hit the pothole. Oh, I missed it. And now back to the driving. Body roll is something that people do talk about in vehicles, and you know what? It's difficult to pinpoint exactly where it starts to roll. You can feel it, yes, but you're sitting in an SUV. You're not sitting in something that's low to the ground and trying to generate G-forces in your body. We're moving along a B-road pretty quickly, safely within the limits of the law, but the Bigster handles really well. A small input on the steering wheel, and it goes where you want it to go. You can look far ahead through a series of S-bends. I've got some rollers, and the suspension does soak up the bumps and the yumps with great ease. Doesn't feel like a big, heavy SUV that's lugging about a big battery pack and producing a lot of body roll. Now, the Dacia may not have all the super fancy tech that some other cars have, but it's also not got the super fancy hard way of turning off your safety features in the infotainment system. Dacia very much keep it nice and simple. It's a button on the side here. Push it twice, switches all your safety features off. They're good to have. You can personalise it so you can have some on and some off, but it's nice to know at a flick of a button, gone. Now there is road noise in this car, as you get with any car, but you can feel it coming back through the steering wheel and these 19-inch wheels. You can feel every little dimple that the road has and change the surface. And there's also wind noise. Yeah. The door mirrors and the roof bars on this Bigster generate wind noise. You will notice it, but it's not overpowering. Maybe it's not the prettiest, but it gives you all the extra gimmicks that a few years ago wouldn't have been on a Dacia. And it's proving that it wants to be a car that you'll love. So if you're wondering where you can pick up a brand new or used Bigster, head over to arnoldclark.com and build a deal that's right for you. Because at Arnold Clark, we make it easy. Kind of competing with the Kia Sportage and the Volkswagen Tiguan, the front end has been totally redesigned and it is now very appealing. When you look at the front of this Bigster, you think, yeah, Dacia have done a cracking job with that to redesign it and step it forward. They've given it the boxy look at the front end, which a lot of manufacturers are picking up on now, and it does seem to work, especially with these Y-shaped lights that we've got here and the Dacia name inside there. You see that on really high quality vehicles. 19-inch diamond cut alloy wheels down the side, and this isn't just bodywork, okay? It's not just plastic. They call it Starkle because it's got a flake all the way through it, which is the same colour as you get on top of the wing mirror in this model, and I quite like it. It's meant to hide scratches. It's got quite a high stance off the ground, so yes, it could be something that you might want to take off-road. Deep privacy glass tint, sunroof on this model, the Journey model that we've got, and you've also got these lovely modular roof rails on top here, which do give it a kind of utilitarian look. Fuel flap at the back. This is the full hybrid, so you don't have a charging point anywhere. The back of the Duster, boxy, just like we saw in the front. I like the shark fin antenna at the top and the big overhang they've given it on that spoiler with at each end of it, extra little bits of spoiler which come down the window to complement the design. And it just looks cool. It's almost like they're trying to be sporty there. Wiper on the window, which you would expect. Some manufacturers are hiding them away at the top nowadays, but Dacia keeping it in its normal traditional position. And yes, we've got a camera and we've got parking sensors. You'd be more alarmed if the car didn't have them, so we'll not talk too much. You can open the boot by holding in the boot button and then passing the keys away. 677 litres of boot space in there, which is almost the biggest in its class, apart from the Skoda Kodiaq. But this car is the cheapest in its class. So there's something for you to remember. Huge boot, nice and cheap. 40, 20, 40 split in the seats, and you can easily put them down by using one of the handles on either side. And there's a lot of extra storage underneath this. You lift it up, you can get lots of stuff in there, or you can move them out and you don't have to have them at all. And it's got a U-clip, part of Dacia's playful personality on this side. We'll talk more about the U-clip, but that's something that they really are trying to drive forward. And it's also got electronic closing, and it comes down nice and slowly. Thank you. Now I should mention that Dacia are part of Renault. And if you drive a Renault Clio, the Austral, maybe a Scenic, this will all feel very familiar to you. The steering wheel, the indicator stalks, your audio controls, your climate controls, it's all very good. And Renault are very much class leaders when it comes to interiors these days. So it's not too shabby that Dacia have got the same people doing their cars for them. Inside here, the screen is fabulous. There's no lag on it whatsoever, and I'm connected to Apple CarPlay wirelessly. Great to cycle through everything you want on that. And next to it is the U-clip. Now you can buy accessories from Dacia, but they really promote you to 3D print your own, so you personalise your U-clip inside the car. We've got the physical buttons for climate control. You've got your charging mat there, nice and simple to get to driving controls. Drinks holders are hidden away, and I'd probably keep my phone on that because it's almost like it's anti-slip. That's your refrigerated centre console. Keep whatever you need to have in there, especially with the nice hot warm weather we're having. And there's round about 38 litres of storage in here, so there's plenty stuff, or plenty places to keep your stuff. Okay, I would have liked to have seen a heads-up display. I would have liked to have had electronically controlled seats. I would have maybe liked a more Alcantara finish on the door and possibly the dash. But you need to remember what you're buying. You're buying the Dacia Bigster, which is affordable value. And it's called the Bigster for a reason, and it can be fully appreciated once you get into the back here. Now Dacia will tell you that there's 24 centimetres of legroom and a lot of headroom, and I can agree with that. Even with the big panoramic sunroof, your headroom isn't compromised. Your centre console has a couple of USB-Cs down there, another U-clip for you to personalise, and your climate control air vents. And all this kind of culminates in towards your centre seat, which is actually your armrest. Now pulled forward, you actually need to lift the headrest to get it properly flat down, drinks holders, and an option for you having your phone in there as well. Personally, I would have liked it to have been a standalone and the seat stayed in place, because there is a change of temperature which does come through, and it just might give you a little bit of road noise. The Dacia Bigster. It's got adaptive cruise control, it's got Apple CarPlay, and it's even got a refrigerated centre console. They certainly are catching up to the other manufacturers, with maybe a little bit of work still to do, but it is a step in the right direction. The Bigster is carving its own path in the car world. It's big, it's affordable, and it's got the flourish of Dacia's playful personality. So can it cut it with the big guns? Well, yes it can, but in its own Dacia kind of way.